Talk to the one and only and legendary Omar Afaro. He happens to operate in a market called the High Desert. The High Desert is a market that most folks in California don't know and certainly don't know in the United States, but it's an important market, in my opinion.
So the market right now, it's funny because this 8%, who's going to go buy a house? And I feel that we're going to be probably over 1,000 houses in the next 30 days. And we're barely getting into that fourth quarter.
Alrighty, folks. Every Tuesday, we talk to the one and only and legendary Omar Afaro. He happens to operate in a market called the High Desert. The High Desert is a market that most folks in California don't know and certainly don't know in the United States, but it's an important market, in my opinion. It is a market that feels things first. And thus, we talk to Omar and we try to figure out what is going on. So, buddy, what's going on with the numbers? Is inventory stacking up? Is inventory falling, right? People withdrawing. What's going on in your market?
What's up, Michael? Appreciate you always having me on. And man, our tenure here is pretty good every Tuesday for a long time. So
yeah, it is multiple years.
Multiple years is pretty freaking awesome. But yeah, so the market right now, I mean, it's funny because this 8%, some people are saying that it has a lot of, impact. Like there's gonna be more houses coming on the market. That means not coming on the market, not selling, because who's going to go buy a house? And it's funny, we're talking about this because you've been through other percentage or interest rates that are substantially higher. And, being at 8% now, it's a challenge for that person that only has one job. And I feel that we're going to be probably over 1,000 houses in the next 30 days. And we're barely getting into that fourth quarter. Well, obviously we just started, but I say November, December, we're probably going to hit 1,100 houses, in our area, which isn't much, right? 940 houses now to 1,200. It's a substantial increase. But what's crazy is that there's going to be more houses on the market because of lack of them selling. Lack of them selling because of the 8%.
We need to break this down because what is happening in the housing market today is not what's happened over the last 4 years.
No, not at all.
And I think people need to realize what's going on in the housing market, specifically the High Desert, which again, for me, is like the canary in the coal mine to potentially the rest of California. Vegas is the canary in the coal mine to the country, but High Desert is the canary for California, in my opinion. So what are we seeing? What are we seeing in the High Desert? This is what I've seen in the little data that I have is net new listings are not accelerating, right? They're kind of flat. Net new listings.
Okay.
Do you have that data or can you get that data? I know you have the
net new listings.
Just brand new listings every week. What are you seeing there?
Net new listings, brand new listings.
Brand new.
96 from 917 to 924.
Okay. So again, that's not a big number. I would argue that's below historical averages, but it's okay because again, we're in the winter months. So let's just call it 100 homes. What is different is the demand side. We are seeing a hit on the luxury. We are seeing a hit on the move up, and we are starting to hear a hit on first-time home buyer. So net new listings are down. They're below trend, but active listings are increasing. It's not because of some raging supply. It's all because demand is finally fallen below supply. We have had a year of higher rates. For most of that year, supply has been more impacted than demand.
Right.
Hence stuff was selling, hence bidding wars, hence all of that. I believe what happened when rates hit 8% is we finally have seen demand fall below a very low supply. That's different. That is happening right now.
And you saying that, Michael, it concerns me for sure. It concerns me because I don't know. Like you said, we're the first to feel it. We're the last to, see the uptick. We're the first to feel any type of movement. but we're
Oh yeah.
not the first to feel the appreciation. It's weird. We're the last to feel appreciation, and we're the first to feel its movement down. and,
Correct. Yeah.
and it's always been that way
Yeah.
because, we're a transitional area where people are flocking from metropolitan areas to our area just for the inexpensive homes, for the
Yeah.
inexpensive living.
First time home
You
buyer
know,
homes. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I, I'm I'm actually feeling a little bit weird about what's going to happen the next 2-3 months. We can
So let's play.
predict all we
Yeah.
want,
Let's play it.
but
Let's play it out. Because I think there, again, we're going to find out. We're going to find out in the next 3 months, Omar,
uh-huh,
who has to sell.
right.
Motivated sellers. Because I think we might be surprised, because I know you think the trend is to 1100.
Hmm.
I'm not sure that's coming. And the reason I say that is because I expect withdrawals or cancellations or expireds or all of that
Right.
to increase. Because a lot of people, I think, are going to follow what Barbara Cochran is saying: is don't sell in the winter unless you have to. Take it off. Wait for the spring. It'll be better in the spring. It'll be better in the summer. Right.
Yeah.
So unless you
Right.
have
Right.
to sell, you're going to be like, it's the winter. It's the holidays. Let me take it off. I'll wait till March. We'll
Hmm.
see what happens. So there's a chance that, we get to this peak of 940 or 990 or whatever it is, and then it reverses in a shocking fashion. It's possible.
Do you think it is possible to reverse, man? I mean,
Oh yeah, absolutely. It all boils down, frankly, to jobs. And jobs don't get lost that fast,
no,
right? We're
no, they
talking about
don't.
the next 3 months.
Hmm.
You know, yeah, it's. I mean, I don't see some earth-shattering jump in unemployment. So if you don't have to sell this winter, and you're like, you know what? Don't sell in the winter. We're going to lose money. Let's wait till March. The season's better. Interest rates will be better. That's what people will be telling themselves. And again, I don't know if that's true, but that's what they'll tell themselves.
Right.
I think you could see a lot of people pull off. And I think you're going to start to see that around Halloween. That's when I think you see it. I think you still have the
That
last people going, hey, let's try it. Let's get in. Let's take a 10K price cut. Let's see if we can generate an offer. But you know what? If we get to Halloween, yank it off the market. I'm not selling.
Damn. And if that's the case, here comes November with a crap load of inventory um, that are hopeful to still try to weather the storm because there's only gonna be a few people. There's only gonna be a few sellers that take it off the market.
I don't
And
know. It'll
I don't
be
think,
it'll be interesting. I don't know.
yeah, I mean, we're figuring this out and understanding like, hey, what's our next move,
Yeah. If
And
you
and
if you're
for
let me tell you this, Omar. If you're listing
yeah,
a house on the market, it's 35 days on market, and
minimum.
it's still on the market in November, you're motivated. You're motivated. You're going to get a
Yeah, you
crap
know
load of
what?
offer.
It's true. And and that's where, as us as investors, are going to be
Hunt.
the person that everyone's going to go to. Hey, Omar, do you want to buy this house? Do you want to buy this house? Hey,
Yeah.
Michael, I know you're still buying houses. Do you want to buy this
Yeah.
one at a $80,000 under list price?
Yeah, let me tell you about a deal
$100,000
that
under list
let me
price.
tell you about a deal that came by my desk that I probably would have done a year ago, that I would not touch today, because you're gonna get a lot of these phone calls. Let me just pull it up. I want to make sure I get the numbers right.
Tell me because I got one to tell you too
All
that
right,
I'm
so
in escrow with. So just check it out.
so
Good.
good part of town, 93704. It's called Old Fig Garden. Great area. I own stuff there. It's a great area.
Yeah.
Um, the ARV, this is what they're telling me it is. I haven't validated, but we'll just go off the numbers. 345.
Oh, ARV's 345.
Yeah,
Okay.
ARV is 340. They're telling me I could buy it for 270. They're
Oh,
telling me it only needs 10 grand. Power washing, some carpet, some paint. That's what they're telling me.
right.
And oh, by the way, it can be done in 2 weeks or less.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, that's what they're telling me. So again, assuming those numbers are legit, I might have done that deal 2 years ago. Again, that's a big assumption. I told this guy, no chance in hell I'm touching that deal. because my end buyer is an FHA or VA buyer, I have that 90-day hold rule,
Yep.
and I have I have zero confidence of what the number will be in January or February. I told them that I would only do that deal at 2.25.
Yeah, I was gonna say 220, 225. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, this is what I mean about being cheap. This is what I mean about I'll still buy. I'll be a greedy son of a bitch and buy a bunch of deals. Um, but I'm going to be cheap, man. I This deal I may have done right when the market's going up like this. I probably do
No
that deal.
problem. Yeah, because you end up selling it for 360, 365.
Exactly, exactly. But today, with what I see coming and slower, I will tell you, I don't want a lot of deals. If I get 2, 3, or 4 going between now and January 31st, that's enough. So they are going to
Hmm.
be home runs. I am only doing great deals
Great
for the
deal.
next 4 months. Period. End of story.
Yeah, and you know what, Michael, that's spot on. I canceled a couple of them, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Just because I'm like,
Eh.
they're like, hey, we don't need, and I'll be honest, it's, in our market, our median is 420. Okay. Our median is
Yeah.
420, just like Fresno, or roundabout. And, ARVs, are 385, 390, 400, and they're still gone. Like there's so much activity with that number still. So
Yeah.
it's like, all right, if I get something at three, sell for 375, 380, minimal work. Okay. We're not making home run profits. We're
Mhm.
making $40,000, 50,000 bucks under the ARV, which is still a lot of room for error,
Yeah.
right? So at the
Yeah.
worst case, if we end up selling it and we give concessions, say we make 15 or 20,000, it's not the greatest deal in the world, but
Yeah.
your money's still turning, your guys are still working. But I'll tell you this, I represented a seller on a deal, and another agent represented the buyer. They brought a deal, to us. We closed. Great property, whatever. That same agent called me to say, "Hey, Omar, we have a deal. She wants it sold. She's out of the area. She's also a realtor, but she does not want anything to do with this house anymore. We needed a cash offer." I looked at it, pulled it up. She told me she has offers at 449, 439, uh, but they canceled twice because of financing. They canceled twice because of no reason of the house. The buyer just backed out, got something
Mm.
else, got cold feet. I'm like, all right. So I offered her 360.
Mm.
They took it with some negotiation, but I'm in escrow for 360. She has two more offers that came in while we're in escrow for 439
Mm.
as is. All I'm gonna do is put a roof on it
Mhm.
for 7, 8,000 bucks, put it back on the
Mhm.
market, has a pool, see what happens. Yes, but my biggest pool is FHA buyers, right?
Right. Yeah.
Because of that 90-day rule. And I won't be able to facilitate that because of that 90-day rule. So I'm hopeful that now
Yeah.
that FHA interest rates are pretty similar to conventional,
Yeah.
that we
Maybe.
switch it over to a conventional because FHA rates are still high
Yeah.
and they might be what, 0.5%, maybe 1% lower than a conventional, but
Yeah.
that could be the determining factor too.
No, absolutely. The 90 day, if people don't know what the 90-day rule is for FHA, they basically, you need to have 90 days between when you purchase and you list it. And otherwise, they're going to take the original purchase price. It doesn't matter what value you've added. So that's why I wouldn't touch a quick flip like that, because my buyer is going to be FHA and I have to sit on it for 3 months. You don't want to vacant home for 3 months, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, that's fun stuff to talk about, man.
Oh yeah, and I don't know what's going to really happen. So I guess we're going to see, as it plays out. So let's, yeah, and I guess if we have time for one more, we can do that.
All right. Very cool. Where can people find you?
Guys, follow me on IG at Invest with Omar, or go to my website omaralfaro.com.
Very cool, man. Thank